Now, I think one of the biggest debates right now, as for Disney by the general public, is whether or not the Marvel Cinematic Universe has it worse than the Star Wars franchise. This is something that a lot of fans out there have been discussing over and over again, and as you all see, everything happening with Lucasfilm has been pretty much an ongoing disaster. I mean, we've seen every single movie getting announced, either falling into creative differences, or getting cancelled, or heading into production limbo, alright? This is all to be expected by Lucasfilm, and it's already beginning to happen with the REY Star Wars movie as we speak. This is Mike0. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, alright, the director of the REY Star Wars movie, after getting fired and removed from 4 Lucasfilm projects, we talked about this last week, after a lot of discussions were made between the Disney heads and those over at Lucasfilm, and how that really led to a lot of conversations, a lot of heated exchanges, mind you, about Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy and her overall role at Lucasfilm. Now, there's a lot of things going on here with her overall role in the REY Star Wars movie and her stance against the Disney heads, and it's getting quite ugly for Lucasfilm, and it's only making matters worse for Disney's situation. So one thing about all of this is that we know that Bob Iger has been making one bad call after the other. I think that's pretty much common knowledge at this point. I think all of you know that. But what's interesting about this has a lot to do with Sharmeen Chinoy and her overall fight against Disney, surprisingly, and how it's another prime example of how they all eventually eat each other in the end, right? When the chips are down, everything begins to fall. So what's interesting about this is that with director Sharmeen Chinoy already wreaking havoc at Lucasfilm after she was fired and removed from multiple Star Wars projects, one major development involves how Sharmeen has already given multiple legal warnings against both Lucasfilm and Disney about her pay downgrade for the REY movie and her removal from 4 Star Wars projects in total. 2 of which were going to be Star Wars movies, and the other 2 were series for Disney+. The main reason why Sharmeen is already moving forward with making a legal case against Disney and issuing these warnings against those like Bob Iger, the Disney heads, and Kathleen Kennedy has much to do with the fact that she reportedly signed a contract for the 4 projects, however at last minute demanded a pay increase by 20% in total for all the projects together. Now, Sharmeen was signed up for a multi-project deal via Disney, and after Bob Iger's cost containment plan went active, this completely changed all aspects of every division at Disney, including Lucasfilm, that has been making a big impact on the REY Star Wars film. Sharmeen is already beginning to play the race card about her removal from the Acolyte Season 2, a new Jedi Order series that would be connected to the REY movie, James Mangold's movie as a co-writer and director, and another untitled Star Wars film as a director as well, while co-writing some scenes for each of those projects. Sharmeen decided to move forward with these legal warnings shortly after she had learned that Daisy Ridley got a pay increase by $5 million, while her pay was decreased, as Bob Iger is looking for every route to reduce spending on every Lucasfilm and Disney project moving onwards. Sharmeen is also warning Disney that she will be putting a legal team together if they don't come up with any kind of resolution within the next number of weeks. Already the REY movie is under some serious rewrites by Stephen Knight, who by the way is the writer of the film, so they get things moving very fast. Sharmeen's biggest project was going to be her very own Star Wars series that would focus on the new Jedi Order, also REY's students. Bob Iger and the rest of the board are already panicking and scrambling for a way to resolve this issue fast before things get out of control with Sharmeen, and that this is just one of the many reasons why filming has been delayed from April until summer of this year. Now, Sharmeen is already giving Disney an ultimatum that she is willing to walk off the REY movie project if her legal warnings don't get across to the Disney heads, and if they don't at least reinstate some of her projects moving onwards, along with her pay for the REY movie, as previously discussed. This in turn also created tensions between Kathleen Kennedy and Sharmeen, since Kennedy is the one who gave the okay after Bob Iger greenlit the revised funding of the REY movie. Now guys, let me just stop here quick before I move on. So, the fact that we have Sharmeen Chinoy creating a lot of trouble over at Lucasfilm and Disney is not a big shocker. I wouldn't say that this is the first time that this has happened over at Disney. We've had many cases just like this. But the fact that she is playing the race card, how she is the one who demanded a pay increase after she had signed her contract, essentially, of what she would be paid, and really kind of wrapping that whole deal together. Now, sure, you know, at the end of the day, Disney may have made a bad call by decreasing her pay and stuff like that. After she signed her contract, Disney may have, you know, pretty much dug a hole themselves right there. But it's interesting to say the least when you look at everything related to Lucasfilm as a whole. There's always some kind of project that falls into production hell or any kind of drama behind the scenes between the creators or the cast and the crew. It doesn't matter. It's Lucasfilm in nature ever since 2015. This has been an ongoing thing for a very long time. Alright? So when you look at stuff like this, I mean, everything related to Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy after the comments that she made to the general public that sparked outrage among followers of Star Wars, many of which have already left the franchise. They are pretty much, you know, over and done with. When you look at everything related to Bob Iger as well, he's making bad calls too. He's very much inconsistent with his fans, or should I say with his plans for the fans, financially and creatively. You know, there's always budgeting changes happening on and off with these projects. There's always firings. There's always creative differences with the Lucasfilm projects. It's a never-ending vicious cycle. Moving on. Now, on top of that, after, of course, Sharmeen was fired from those 4 projects for Lucasfilm for Star Wars that would have given her well over $15 million in payout, this is the main driving force as to why Sharmeen remains very relentless in warnings against Disney legally to get what she wants. Sharmeen already had given Disney a warning to sue weeks ago after this happened, and it's only been getting worse ever since. Kennedy is already arranging a meeting with the Disney heads about how to resolve the entire situation. So again, Kathleen Kennedy going into full damage control internally, behind the scenes there, and really trying to fix the scenario. It's not going to smooth things over in enough time to get things rolling, to get this movie, you know, shooting by this summer, I believe. I don't think they're going to begin filming this thing by June, to be quite honest with you guys, the way things are going right now. Stephen Knight is still trying to figure out the script. He's still trying to get things done with that. And sure, for the most part, the script was finished, but Lucasfilm wanted him to rewrite and erase any material that had any kind of a reference to the Skywalker lineage, to the Skywalker bloodline, any kind of references to Anakin and or Luke. They want this movie to disconnect from George Lucas's philosophy, essentially. Which is a little odd, because you got Rey Palpatine in there, who is connected to a Lucasfilm or George Lucas legacy character. So it makes no sense to me. But I would like to hear what you all have to say about this ongoing scenario below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.